Welcome back. Good to have your company. Let's get into the news now. In our first story, the Electoral Commission has postponed the declaration of the Nsawam Edwajiri parliamentary election result to this morning. Now, this follows long disagreements between the contesting parties over the eligibility of some pink sheets. My colleague, James Aveji, has details of how things unfolded at the National Police Training School, Tesano, where the Eastern Regional Recollation had to be moved to.
For 17 long hours, the Electoral Commission has been recollating the election result for Nsawam Edwajiri, Akwetia, Suhum, and Fantiakwa North constituencies. 3 of the constituencies have been resolved, but of course, not without chaotic scenes.
Leave our section. With due respect, you are not part of us. You are not part of us. You are not supposed to be here. Go away. Go away.
After the NPP won Akwetia and Fantiakwa North constituencies in the early hours of Thursday, it took the EC returning officer 12 more hours to declare the Suhum constituency results at 9 p.m. and under heavy police protection.
I hereby declare Frank Asiadu Bakwen as MP-elect for Suhum constituency 2024 election.
Here's Majority Leader Alexander Penyumakin's reaction to a third victory.
We thank God that when security was properly provided and the EC was firm, we've all seen transparently what we have achieved.
But the NDC's Peter Boama Otokuno says they will not accept the results of Akwetia.
When she called that they should stop, they had finished and they claimed they have declared. And that results declaration is illegal, it's unfounded, it's non-existent, and so the Akwetia is still outstanding.
It's past 1 a.m. here at the Collation Center. The EC, together with the political parties, are still divided on whether to accept the results from over 80 polling stations in the Nsawam Edwajiri constituency, which have some errors. Frank Anodompre, who is the MP and candidate in the election, is furious but firm he will win the seat.
See, I see something happening. People have pink sheet and yet they hold on to it and say, I don't have, just to prolong the declaration of the result. This is most unfortunate. I have won this election. Why are they dragging the matter? What is this?
After the long wait, the EC has postponed its final decision on Nsawam Edwajiri to 6 a.m. Friday morning. James Aveji, Police Training School, Accra.
Now, President-elect John Dramani Mahama has assured Ghanaians that his incoming administration will not misuse the overwhelming majority secured by the National Democratic Congress in the just-ended elections. Speaking during the courtesy call by the National Chief Imam, he promised to consult the New Patriotic Party at every step, stating that he was committed to democratic governance. He dismissed the Supreme Leader tag attributed to him after the massive victory by the NDC, insisting he would govern as a Democrat.
I wish to assure my father and our fathers that we're not going to misuse the majority we have in Parliament. Even though we have a huge majority, more than 2/3, we're not going to misuse it. We're going to consult with the minority at every stage. And make sure that we do things by consensus instead of railroading everybody. Everybody knows that I'm a typical diplomat and a Democrat. And so I believe in jaw, I believe in consensus building, and I believe in democracy. I've heard some people call me Supreme Leader. I'm not Supreme Leader. I'm going to continue to work the way I've always been as a Democrat, and we'll continue to consult with our colleagues who are in the NPP. We can only move this country together if all of us work to move it together. No one single political party can turn the fortunes of Ghana without the cooperation of everybody else. So I can assure you that we'll work together. We'll continue to consult you. I'm your son, and you all have been very gracious with advice and good counsel. I've enjoyed working with all of you over the years, and nothing is going to change. My doors will be open at any time that any of our leaders, my fathers, want to see me. The door will readily be open.
Now, life is slowly bouncing back in the Ashanti regional city of Kumasi after the outcome of the December 7th general election. The mood remains mixed depending on the respondents' political affiliation. But residents generally have their hopes high in the John Mahama administration, especially in terms of employment creation, the implementation of the 24-hour economy, and Nkokon-Kete policies. Clinton Yeboah gauged the mood on the streets of Kumasi and filed this report.
Days after the 7th December elections, things are slowly returning to normal. Just right behind me is a trotro station with cars buzzing with noise in my ears. This is to indicate how back they are to their daily routine. Markets are opened, shops are opened, and street hawkers are also back on the streets. But the air in the space are filled with mixed emotions. So let's just get into conversations with others, what they think generally of the outcome of the elections.
I'm feeling proud.
I am so happy. I feel less burdened, and for this victory, I drink to express the joy.
Nana Kufadu edia Kufadu ase eda ye to aba Friday na Kufadu atu patrum drivers for adodo omo ha nyina omo to aba no drivers for omo ha oyi omo just ye say 60% obi so nkoto ade na wase basa because wono obedi 8 years e de akọ to wedi 8 years na akọ no
What people think generally about the results of the 7th December elections certainly will not change life in the next 4 years. However, they shared their expectation of the coming government.
Enti me de ne se aban na ba no contractors no de kwan na ba bi omo de ama omo so omo ye no hwe no omo nye na ye daba fo no ye ho ntoye
nyame ne sihene ama me MPP ni papa ba yes still nyame na ne sihene nti nyame na yi na ma ya ye pe.
I am expecting the John Mahama will not remove yet to be absorbed nurses and replace us with NDC fanatics.
Yeah, cause on Friday I go various hospitals na go ejuma. But I go and say matete say onche mudo but obefa na nkofo. Ti ofa na nkofo ni de ebe ma ye be wo fi. Ti na da roma o de enunku enti me se onye we mai.
From Kumasi in the Ashanti region, my name is Clinton Yeboah, reporting for Joy News.
Now, the Western region is battling a severe cholera outbreak with over 800 suspected cases and more than 10 deaths reported so far. The Sekondi, Takoradi, and Efia Kwesimintim areas remain the hardest hit, accounting for 95% of cases. Health authorities have implemented strict measures, including a ban on vegetable sales by food vendors to curb the spread. As efforts intensify to combat the outbreak, our reporter Natalia Kwanza brings us a detailed account of the challenges, interventions, and urgent calls for support.
Health authorities attribute the outbreak to contaminated vegetables and poor sanitary conditions. In response, the Western Region Coordinating Council has banned the sale of vegetables by food vendors, warning violators of Prosecution under the Public Act 2012 Act 851.
I survive by selling vegetables, so it will affect me a lot, but I cannot say because it will affect me, I should allow people to get cholera from vegetables. So we can't do anything about it.
The outbreak has overwhelmed health facilities in the region. At the Kwesimintim Hospital, initially ill-equipped to handle the crisis, medical staff had to convert waiting areas into wards for cholera patients. Medical superintendent at the Kwesimintim Hospital, Dr. Simon Osei-Frimpong, shares his experience.
About a month now that we started seeing the cases. In fact, we call it index case, meaning the first case we saw in the hospital. We weren't even aware it was cholera. And the person came very late. So the person spent less than 24 hours here. And sorry, we lost the person. So from that time, we had to train our staff, do everything possible to take care of the rest. And since then, we've had quite a number, I've referred to the figures, quite a number. We have average of 15 to 20 cases a day from that time up to now. So we've been on our feet working all this while. And thanks be to God, from that time we haven't lost anybody. The biggest challenge in the facility is where we are supposed to keep patients. In fact, Kwesimintim was a polyclinic, I hope you all know. And they upgraded it to a hospital. But trust me, when it comes to the infrastructure and other things, nothing was added. It was just the name. So we have a big challenge with space. So we had to convert one of the patient waiting areas to be the ward for cholera cases. It has helped though, but it doesn't look good.
The head of Institutional Care Division of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Lawrence Ofori Boedu, and his team are in the region to have at first hand what is happening and provide the necessary assistance needed to battle the cholera outbreak.
Now we have 4 regions that have recorded cases. That's Greater Accra, Central Region, Western Region, and Eastern Region. Officially, that are reported cases. But now, as we speak, it's Western Region that is having more involving cases. The condition in Greater Accra is calm. We're not recording active cases in Greater Accra any longer. The condition in Central Region is also calm. We're having very few emerging cases that are mild cases coming up. It is Western Region that we are seeing that the numbers are coming up. More people are reporting to hospitals. So we have visited about 5 hospitals and we are seeing that the numbers are increasing. Averagely, when we go to the hospital, we have about 34 people on admission, which wasn't the same in Western and Greater Accra and Eastern Region. So the concern is that we have come here to see what the region is doing, to advise, to realign with them, and to make sure that nobody dies. And that's the most important thing. On the ground, we have seen that the team are doing very, very well. A lot of people are coming on board to support, but we need more hands. Because cholera outbreak is not about only health. It needs environmental support, we need water support, we need security support, we need logistics. Health alone cannot do it.
The Western Regional Coordinating Council and health authorities are working tirelessly, but the numbers remain overwhelming. Community participation is crucial in preventing further spread.
In our next story, the Vice-Chancellor of the Simon Diedong Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, Professor Emmanuel Kanchebe Derebele, has expressed concern over the slow pace of work on some infrastructural projects at the university. Some of these projects were awarded over a decade ago but remain incomplete. The contractors abandoned the sites due to the Ghana Education Trust Fund failing to honor their payment certificates. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports that the Vice-Chancellor outlined measures to address the university's infrastructural deficit.
Before the year 2019, the Simon Diedong Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, SDDU-BIDS, used to be one of 3 campuses of the University for Development Studies before it was granted autonomy. The university was established by an Act of Parliament, Act 101, clothed with the mandate to become an international acclaimed applied research and practical-oriented educational institution dedicated to the development of business and integrated development studies. Vice-Chancellor of SDDU-BIDS, Professor Emmanuel Kanchebe Derebele, posited that the university over the years has continued to expand its academic programs and strengthen its engagement with the local and global community. He said the university seeks to produce graduates who are not only well-versed in academic disciplines, but who has interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary skills that will make the difference in an increasingly complex world. Professor Emmanuel Kanchibe-Deribili then turned his attention to the infrastructural deficit at the university. Mind you, the university started without seed capital. There are a sea of uncompleted projects dotted around the university, and as a result, some faculty offices and schools are located in rented buildings outside the university campus. In fact, the newly constructed 2,000-seater auditorium really exposes the infrastructure deficit of the university. It was full to capacity, no inch of blade or space for the graduates, let alone their families. More than half of the graduates and their families ended up staying outside the giant edifice for the entire duration of the congregation.
We may all be aware, one of the biggest challenges of the university is the huge infrastructure deficit arising from funding challenges. We are grateful to government for starting some Get Fund projects and granting us the appropriate clearance for completion of the projects. We have engaged with contractors, and we appreciate the commitment to investing and completion of these projects. Nonetheless, the biggest challenge is the delay in payment of certificates by the Get Fund. Hence, innovative ways to financing is inevitable if we are to complete these projects for use within the shortest possible time.
He spoke of some measures put in place to address the challenges.
To address this challenge, executive management presented a concept note on what we call an accelerated Get Fund infrastructure completion project or initiative. I am pleased to report that Council approved the concept note yesterday, and we will aim to present the proposal to Council before the close of this year. This special initiative seeks to draw on internally generated funds and other possible sources of funds for a speedy completion of priority projects on campus. If this works out well, we will relocate all faculties and schools in town to campus within the shortest possible time.
One municipal chief executive, Isaku Tair Movement, pledged the commitment of the government to providing quality education that prepares students for the 21st century.
In the era of research, government has established the Ghana Research Fund to support research initiatives in our universities. We believe that research and innovation are critical drivers of economic growth and development. As we move forward, we will continue to prioritize education as a key in our national development agenda. We will work tirelessly to address the challenges facing our universities, including infrastructure deficits, and ensure that our institutions remain centers of excellence.
Chairman of the Governing Council of the University, Lawyer Kwekuyamu Apenchel, was commending the staff of the university for putting up their best despite the challenges they are facing, urged the graduates to be good ambassadors of the university.
One day, nobody's going to judge you so much by where you graduated, where you took your degree from. But people are going to look at the content, first of your character, secondly, of what you have been able to do to contribute to society. And it is in that I believe that we've given you all the training that you require to be able to compete in that world that we are living in and in the future that we expect you to compete in.
A total of 2,321, comprising of 1,448 undergraduates and 873 postgraduates, took part in the third congregation of the university. Reporting for Dway News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
To business updates in our first story. Commercial banks are not buying all the dollars being offered them by the Bank of Ghana. This is what we have picked up from the market over the past 2 months. There's more in this report.
Past 2 months, checks by Joy Business has shown that most of the banks are not taking up the total amount of dollars that the Bank of Ghana has been supplying for the market. The development raised a lot of questions, especially at the time that most businesses were complaining that they cannot get access to the dollars from the commercial banks. But Joy Business is learning that the current dollar auction program is done in a way that the banks have given up a certain amount of cedis to get the dollars needed. Now, due to several programs by the Bank of Ghana that has reduced the amount of cedis that the commercial banks can hold, that has made it difficult to purchase the required amount of dollars when the Bank of Ghana undertakes the dollar auction program.
Now, Malcolm Limited, Ghana's largest and most popular retail department store chain, is now open at the Accra Mall, bringing one of the store's biggest and best-stocked outlets to residents in the cluster of communities on the west side of Accra. The retail giant commences trading as an anchor tenant at the Accra Mall today. Here is Group General Manager Francis San.
As you know, Malcolm wants to create a one-stop shopping experience where Ghanaians can shop with all their needs at one location. And this is one additional store that we are opening today. We have one more to open in Achimota Mall before the year ends. And the intent is to bring the shopping experience to all Ghanaians wherever they are. 20% is to introduce the shop to all people that are shopping this weekend, and so that they have something to experience and more money in their pockets when they are shopping.
And that's it for business, and that's also how we cap off the news of this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. But stay with us for the news review. 3 stalwarts join us for a conversation right here. We'll be right back.